Hello everybody and welcome to niXtreme. Today we're going to be checking out my game pickups leading into December. Let's check it out. Hello everybody, welcome back. Before we get into these pickups, please hit that subscribe button down below and let's get into it. Okay, so like usual, we're going to be going new games to old games. So let's jump in. Starting off with the most obvious one, I think, is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Now this is a prequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but it's done in the Dynasty Warriors gameplay style. This is the second Zelda-themed game that they did with that. This one is a lot better than the previous one because this one actually has a storyline, and you play as the characters from Breath of the Wild. It's essentially gives you the backstory of what happened 100 years prior to Breath of the Wild. So it's a pretty cool game to check out. It is not Zelda gameplay, it's Dynasty Warriors gameplay, so it's a very different game than you're used to for Zelda games. Next up, I have a Guacamelee 1-2 Punch Collection. What this is Guacamelee 1 and Guacamelee 2 in one cartridge, which is awesome. And these are two Metroidvania-style games where you play as a luchador, Mexican wrestler. These are very good games. I would check it out if you could. This is a great compilation and was for a great price. Next up, I have G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. This is a cool game because it's a licensed game, and it's not terrible. Yeah, so this is it's a game. The graphics is good when you plug it in. It plays like Fortnite almost. It does have split-screen multiplayer, which you don't see in a lot of games these days made by third parties. You generally only really see that from Nintendo these days. So it's really cool. We're checking out. When you play the story mode, you alternate between playing as G.I. Joes and you play as Cobras. So it's a pretty cool game.
End of the line, Joe. You're trapped like the rat you are. Kneel before Cobra.
This isn't over, Cobra!
Next up, I have the Microsoft-published new Super Lucky's Tale. So this is Super Lucky's Tale, but with upgraded features from the Xbox One version. This is one of those games that was an Xbox One exclusive game, and then it got published over on the Nintendo Switch later on. It is a third-person platformer. So it's worth checking out, especially if you're into those old-school Mario 64 Banjo-Kazooie type games. This is an awesome one to check out. And the last Nintendo Switch game I got is The Wonderful 101. This is a Wii U title that was a game that essentially was locked to the Wii U that was created by Platinum Games, the makers of Bayonetta. And they just did a crowdfunding to get it ported to the Switch. And they successfully met their crowdfunding. So it's a cool game. It's kind of like almost like a Pikmin type game. So if you're interested in those types of games, it's really worth checking out.
The unstoppable, wonderful.
Next up, for the holidays, PlayStation 4 games are dirt cheap, and that's why I picked some up. They're on for $10 each now at the stores, and they're all the best PlayStation 4 games out there. So let's start with Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank is a PS4 game, supposed to be awesome. This is the one that is based off of the movie. But this is supposed to be a lot better than the movie, so I would check it out if you're interested. This game is supposed to be really, really good.
Are you ready to be a Galactic Ranger?
And next up, I have God of War, the new God of War that came out on PlayStation 4. This is supposed to be from what I understand, the best game on the PlayStation 4, so it was really cool to check this out. It's a reboot, but a continuation of the storyline of the previous God of War games, and they really changed up the gameplay in this one from the originals.
Back away, boy! Here's your chance. Show me already.
Yes, sir!
Next up, I got Horizon Zero Dawn. This is a cool game where you essentially hunt robot dinosaurs. It's a free-roaming adventure game. It came out around the same time as Breath of the Wild, so I think it came out like a couple weeks before, and when Breath of the Wild came out, it kind of overshadowed this after. This game still did very well, and it's supposed to be really, really good, so it's worth checking out.
Even if you do catch what you're after, how do you know it won't bite back?
Next up, we're moving into PlayStation 3 games. I picked up a lot of these games coming up at thrift stores, but that was before they locked everything down again, so next month's might be a little bit less stuff, so we'll see what happens. So starting off with PlayStation 3 games, we have Sega Superstar Tennis. This is Sega's take on the Mario Tennis type gameplay, where you have essentially a compilation of a bunch of your characters that you own, and you put them in an arcade style tennis game. So it's pretty cool. We're checking out if you like Mario Tennis and you want the Sega version. Next up, I have Socom US Navy SEALs Confrontation. This is another Socom game for the PlayStation 3. This one I don't believe supports the PlayStation Move, because I think the big Socom game on the PlayStation 3 is the one that supports the PlayStation Move and came with the gun peripheral. So these games are always great. I would check it out if you're interested in playing a nice third-person shooter.
Today is the day that nothing will hold you back. And when we have finished, we can roar in unison so that the world may hear. Alone, I am lethal. As a team, I dominate.
Next up, I have Ratchet and Clank All for One. This is the last Ratchet and Clank that I was missing for the PlayStation 3, because there's quite a few of them on the PlayStation 3. Yeah, there's either 3 or 4 of them, and this is the one I'm missing. I was missing, and it's cool. It actually, as you can see on the cover here, it says it supports 3D TVs with 3D glasses, so I don't think anybody really has 3D TVs anymore, but it'd be interesting to see what it looked like. Next up, moving to Xbox 360 games. Starting off, we have Sniper Ghost Warrior. This is a sniper game, stealth sniper game. It's pretty cool. These sniper games are always pretty cool. You got online multiplayer, which I think is probably dead by now, I would assume. But you got all the cool things you see in sniper games, like slow motion bullet shots and stuff like that. So I don't know, they're always a good time.
Got him. One more behind that building to the left. Bingo. That's the one. Clear. Nice job. Let's go get our van.
Roger that. I'm on the move.
Next up, I have Dragon Age Origins. This is the medieval take on Mass Effect, essentially. It's made by the same team that made Mass Effect, and they decided to make a medieval RPG as opposed to a space RPG, so it's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of the Mass Effect games.
We are the Grey Wardens, men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. We have watched and waited.
Next up, I have Homefront. This is an interesting game. It is It's like Freedom Fighters on the GameCube, PS2, Xbox. Essentially, the US has gotten taken over. You were a group of freedom fighters trying to get the country back. First-person shooter, a lot of fun. Open world first-person shooter gameplay. So it's really cool and awesome to check out.
Greetings to our comrades, citizens of the new America. For the last 2 years, you have known sacrifice. And you have known loss.
Next up, we got Fallout 3, third-person RPG by Bethesda. I don't think you really need an introduction to Fallout, but yeah, it's an awesome RPG, post-apocalyptic environment. We're checking out. Next up, we got a bunch of licensed GameCube games. I picked these up at a thrift store for dirt cheap, so anything GameCube I usually pick up. If not for the game, at least for the case that it's in, because you can use them for better games that you don't find complete. So starting off, I got Happy Feet, based off of the CG movie for kids.
Based on the comedy adventure film, Midway Games presents Happy Feet, the video game.
Check this.
You're doing great.
Play as Mumble, as you belly sled, swim, and outdance the competition to save the Emperor Penguin Nation.
After that, I got Winnie the Pooh's Rumbly Tumbly Adventure. Now this is it's a good-looking third-person game. I would take a look into this one. It looks fun. Now I got another Winnie the Pooh game, Piglet's Big Movie Crossed Out Game. This is based off, I guess, a Piglet movie. If you've seen that Piglet movie, let me know in the comments down below if it's any good.
Hello, Piglet.
Oh, hello, Eeyore. How are you doing today?
As good as can be expected.
Next up, I got Shrek Super Slam, based off, obviously, the Shrek movies. This is a 4-player, I think it's a minigame compilation game, published by Activision. We'll see if it's any good.
I'm Officer Clayton. How you feeling?
Crummy?
Which one of these guys trashed your house?
All of them.
You can battle your friends as 20 characters from Shrek in 4-player melee combat in a totally destructible Shrek universe. Break through walls, throw stuff, and find hidden weapons. It's Shrek and his friends like you've never seen them before. Shrek Super Slam, rated E10 for ages 10 and up, available now.
Next time, I'm bringing the pain with the candy cane.
And next up, we have Herb's Sims in the City. This is The Sims, but hipster style. So if you're into The Sims, you're into hipsters, and you want to create a life for hipsters, this is the game for you.
Say goodbye to Dullsville. The Herbs, Sims in the City. Rated 2 for teen.
Next up, I got Final Fantasy X-2. This is the sequel to Final Fantasy X, which you would think would be Final Fantasy XI, but it is not. It's Final Fantasy X-2. So yeah, that's such a Square Enix thing to do.
When the world around you is not what it seems, the only thing you can count on is your dreams. Final Fantasy X-2.
Next up, I got Crash Team Racing on the PlayStation 1. This I actually bought the case at a thrift store for $2, and then I just ordered the game loose off eBay for about $6. So it was a good pickup because I think this normally sells for about $30 to $40. So it's definitely worth picking up. Yeah, it's essentially Sony trying to combat Mario Kart. Not nearly as good as Mario Kart in my opinion, but definitely a good time, and we're checking out.
Is it my imagination? Are we going like 1 mile an hour? What's going on here? Oi! Geezer!
What?
Our flight's in 10 minutes!
Well, we better hurry then, didn't we?
Buckle up, boys, buckle up! Come on, mate!
So, let's face the facts. I'm hot, you're hot.
Who wants to pet me?
Crash Team Racing. Once he gets behind the wheel, things get ugly.
You and me. Booyah, Grandma. Booyah!
Next up, I got some old school PC games. I got Age of Empires 2. I had a lot of fun playing this game when I was younger. It's a real-time strategy, but it's a lot more detailed than, like, I used to play a lot of Warcraft 2 back then as well. And it's a lot more in-depth than Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 almost feels a little bit more arcadey compared to this. It's a lot more in-depth than that, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this game when it came out. And I remember the multiplayer online battles taking forever, but this is a cool game.
The sequel to the best-selling, award-winning, real-time strategy game is here. Your destiny awaits you in Age of Empires 2, the Age of Kings.
Next up, I have Command & Conquer Red Alert: The Arsenal. So this comes with Red Alert, Command & Conquer Red Alert, and Command & Conquer Red Alert Aftermath, which is the expansion pack. So this is awesome. You get both in one combo pack. It's really good. This is another RTS, but this one is more of a Cold War type game, based Cold War times.
Encountering extreme resistance! Require artillery support!
Deploy times now. Ground forces have been neutralized.
Immediate reinforcement! General! We are outflanked! You have miscalculated! Hold your positions! Who is behind all this?
Command & Conquer Red Alert, the ultimate strategy game for your PC.
Next up, I was really happy to find this one. This is a game my cousins had when we were younger, and this is Lego Island. Lego Island it's a pretty much created the formula that all the modern Lego games use. It's a cool free roaming Lego game where you're on an island. You can do whatever you want. It's really cool, and you know, it's obviously this formula has been done to death now, but back then this was a pretty impressive game.
Pickle brain, monkey breath. Mom can't say anything because I'm not touching fish.
What if you could change anything you wanted?
I love you, little bro.
You can in Lego Island, the new CD-ROM game. It's an entire Lego world where you chase a Lego villain, build and race Lego vehicles, and change everything from the landscape to people's attitudes.
You're the coolest brother.
Even the music. The new Lego Island CD-ROM game. Lego Island CD-ROM game comes with everything shown here.
Next up, I got one Super Nintendo game, and that is Jurassic Park. Now, this game is very different than the Jurassic Park on the Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis version is a side-scroller. This is a top-down shooter. It's difficult, but it's fun. I'm really happy that it's a very different version than the Genesis version because it gives you a little bit of variety when you play it.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Next up, I got a system. And this system is something I've been trying to get for a very long time, and I was just looking for a good deal and my birthday to pass to get me some extra cash. And that is the Sega Cd, which is the attachment for the Sega Genesis that plays CD-based games. And now with this system, you get awesome audio and video effects. You get a lot of you get a lot of FMV games, full motion video games with this. And it really took advantage of the CD drive with using the Genesis's 16-bit power. So it's a real cool system. I've been dying to get one of these for a very long time, and I finally got one. Now, the tough part is tracking down games for it because they're super expensive. So it's really tough to get good deals on them. But they're out there. You just gotta hunt.
Hey, you still don't have a Sega CD? Huh? What are you waiting for? Nintendo to make one? You have seen the games, right? Wrong answer, man. Show 'em! Want to see more?
And the last things we're going to go through, I got a few NES games. Nothing spectacular, but some NES games nevertheless. First one I want to show you is called Rocket Ranger. This essentially you're like a superhero almost, but you have a rocket pack, and you fly around And there's levels where it's kind of like almost like a shoot 'em up, but then there's levels where it's like just like almost like a boxing type level. Game isn't great. I picked it up because it looked interesting, and then when I actually popped it into the system to play it, not very good. Next up, I got Mission Impossible the game. This is kind of neat. It's a top-down shooter. It's kind of cool. You go through missions, you have your team, and you can switch between guys. It's an interesting game. It's all these NES games I'm showing are all like $10 or less games. So there's nothing spectacular here, but they're all, you know, they all have their little bit of fun that you can have with them.
Danger is afoot. In Ultra's Mission Impossible for Nintendo, a daring rescue of incredible risk where you search for secret passes and disarm lethal traps to save the world from terrorists. Commanding 3 secret agents through a 6-level maze of intrigue. You'll need a keen intellect, jackrabbit reflexes, and unbelievable guts. But should you fail, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your existence.
Next up, I got Captain Skyhawk. This is kind of interesting because it's almost a 3D shoot 'em up. If you pop this in, they'll have a polygonal, almost polygonal, not real polygons, fake ones, you know, where they draw the lines on the screen. But it's a shoot 'em up. It's kind of neat. It's fun. It's like I said, it's another cheap game, and it's worth checking out.
It's the flight of your life, Captain Skyhawk for your Nintendo. The only air combat game with a spy satellite view of the action. More weapons, more missions over more terrain than any other flying ace. Captain Skyhawk for your Nintendo.
Next up, I got Top Gun's Second Mission. This is a cool first-person pilot game, and this one is... What makes this one stand out from the original Top Gun game is this one actually has 2-player dogfight mode. So you can actually hook up 2 controllers, get your buddy, and you guys can do dogfights. So I really enjoyed this one when I was younger to play it, and it's a lot of fun.
You may have won the battle in Konami's Top Gun, but you haven't won the war. Prepare for Top Gun, the second mission. You'll have to hone your skills, one-on-one against a foe or the computer, in preparation for the flight of your life. You test your skills, rolling and looping your way through an all-out barrage from the air, land, and sea. Top Gun, the second mission for Nintendo. It'll take more than guts to get out alive.
Well, everybody, thank you for checking out these pickups leading into December. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you dislike what you saw, hit dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below. Hey, and if you like this video, give it a share. Let people know about it. Maybe they'll like it too. We'll see. Alright, we'll see you later. And Merry Christmas.